So hi guys, Tim here, going to do another military drawing tactical video for you today, and this one will be on the German Stormtroopers of 1918, the German elite of the Great War. So without further ado, I will get started. So the year was 1918. Well, really it started in 1917, but just think of 1918. German Over in Germany, the civilians were basically trying to ration all their food because because of the blockade, there was a lot of famine going on, loss of food, loss of land, and just there was a lot of disaster going on back home in Germany. For the German army, a lot of what's the word? A lot of decisions had to be made about if they wanted to continue, because the Imperial German Army were just on the run. They were losing a lot of men. Ammunition was being spent left, right, and centre. They were essentially a spent force. They were really dying down the numbers. So Germany had to the actual German army had to economise, for one reason, and of course for another reason, that they wanted to win the war very badly. So the Imperial German Army and Chief of Staff decided to essentially have um, a big offensive to win the war as quick as possible, and that was in March 1918 with the Kaiserschlang, or the Kaiser's War, or really Operation Michael, or the Michael Offensive as it's known as. In March 1918, the Imperial German Army also used for the first time their German stormtroopers, or Stormtrooper as they're called in German, in Germany, in Germanness. So essentially I'll just show you how they used. So before, which was the first, when the battle first took place, they first used the German stormtroopers in a lightning fast, quick reaction, essentially blitzkrieg, really, lightning fast tactics, which was their method of trying to win the war, the Great War, First World War. So before any German stormtroop attack went ahead, they would first put a big cotton of smoke screen to hide the advancing stormtroopers. Of course, so the French, the Americans, or the British couldn't see who's coming. They could just see a massive smoke screen, so they didn't know if they were coming that angle, if the whole line was going that way, or they were coming that way, or that angle or that angle. So they didn't know. That was the big smoke screen. So then you would get running very fast are the German stormtroopers. Right up to the first trench. Yeah. Yep. So when they hit the first trench, they would throw in mass ton of grenades. So when the grenades, so they would throw the grenades, drop to the floor, wait for the explosions, and then jump in to first trench. And of course, these trenches would be connected by communication trenches and reserve trenches and all that. But these are the main frontline trenches, which are facing the German trench here. And then, whilst they do that, they would jump into the first trench, stab, bayonet, club, beat up, and just kill, as much as they can. And then, when they've done that one, they would move on to the next trench, do the exact same thing, then move on to the next, and do the exact same thing until their mission is complete, really. So the typical German stormtrooper or stormtroop person would be standard Imperial German infantry wear, but they would carry the first ever submachine gun, the machine pistol 18 or the MP18. They would have sometimes, or most times, they would have carried two great big bags, sacks full of Model 1916-17 German stick grenades. There's a famous photo of, I believe, one or two German stormtroopers actually carrying a mass ton of grenades on both sides in sacks. So that's what they would do. They would carry them and Stiefelmesser or boot knife, of course, bayonet and rifle, throw the grenades in, wait for the explosion, jump in, attack, and then do it very, very lightning fast and very quick until they've achieved their objective. It's just like what would happen about 10, 12, 11, 12 years later with Blitzkrieg of the Second World War revived German army. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope this kind of been an informational video about the German stormtroopers, their tactics of 1918 during the big German March offensive, or the main last offensive of the German army, Imperial German army, and how they were first used to great effect. But then, of course, when the Americans entered the war in May 1918, the Imperial German might really was on the run until by, of course, November, when the war ended. So, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.